Ladies and gentlemen, up until now you've seen the creature perform the simple mechanics of motor activity, but for what you are about to see next, we must enter quietly into the realm of genius. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, Damen und Herren, from what was once an inarticulate mass of lifeless tissues, may I now present a cultured, sophisticated man about town. Hit it!
The Sketch-O-Matic Show.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Sketchy.
The Sketch-O-Matic Show podcast. Back again.
Sketch-O-Matic.
Episode 6. Underway. And you, my friend, are in for a very special, illuminating episode with my special guest today. In this episode, we cover quite a bit. Probably the lengthiest episode to date, because there's so much to cover, so much to learn. And on this episode, we also touch a little bit on my Instagram debacle happening. For those of you who have been keeping up with that whole madness, we explain just a little bit about that. But mostly, we talk about her and her life, her rise to radio, her rise to her career, to DJing. But we also get a very exclusive, rare inside look into what it was like for this special guest to come out to her family, which is very, very important, I believe, on this episode for everybody to hear. Episode 6. Let's dive in.
Matic. Special guest, DJ Lezlee.
That's right, the Sketch-O-Matic Show podcast, episode 6. Honored to have my special guest here with me, who I've worked alongside for years, and we've conversed over Instagram for probably over a decade from the beginning of our introduction. But now this is our first actual sit down, and I'm really excited to present to you, listening right now, DJ Lezlee on the Sketch-O-Matic Show podcast.
Thank you for having me,
Oh my
Sketch.
God. So excited to have you here.
been a
I can
long
barely
time.
see you over the
I know.
monitor, but it's so cute because you're so adorable and Thumbelina. So what's going on? It's really hot outside, DJ
gosh.
Lezlee. I know there's so much happening with you. What are you up to these days?
There's a heat wave currently, okay? And I'm not talking about the weather. I honestly just been really focused in my DJing. I've been DJing for about 13 years now. And this year I've had the opportunity to travel to some pretty cool places.
Yeah, I've seen that.
To DJ. I was in Toronto. Toronto. I just found out that the R is silent.
Oh, really?
Toronto.
Uh-huh.
That's what my friend said. I don't know. And then let's see. I've been all over the place.
You've traveled the world.
Yeah. I mean,
seriously,
yeah.
you have. You're on fire. You've been on fire. And let's quickly touch on the history of DJ Lezlee. Okay. For those who are, for the person listening right now, if you're not familiar with DJ Lezlee, undeniable talent, beauty, and such a warm, welcoming personality that goes with it. That's the truth. It's not just because you're my friend. I know, but I do know you, and I know the person, Lezlee, not just DJ Lezlee, the star or the superstar DJ, but rather Lezlee, the human being. And
Sketch.
I want the people to get to know that person a little bit more.
Okay.
So yeah, let's start at the beginning here with you getting into DJing.
Yes.
How old were you when you got into DJing? When did that become the calling that you know you were going to take?
Oh man, well, I knew I was going to be a DJ at a young age. I was always very intrigued by the DJ at the family parties and the weddings, and anywhere there was a DJ, I always wondered, like, how does he do that? You know, so it was a matter of time before it actually happened for me. But I was about 23 when I first purchased some like really beginner mode CD turntables,
right?
And mixers.
CDJs.
No, well, I started on turntables,
right?
But they were like definitely beginner. They weren't Technics.
They weren't Technic 1200. Yeah. Did you start on vinyl or did you start in the Serato realm era?
No, I started on vinyl.
Nice.
I did that for about a year, and then shortly after, Serato was introduced to the world and
saved everybody.
Oh my God, yeah, got onto Serato. But you know, it's crazy. Like, there was a DJ by the name of DJ AM.
Yes, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Rest in peace to DJ AM.
DJ
the man who paved the way.
Oh, he really did. Yeah,
He's the one who DJ AM was the first DJ to make DJing a rock star type of situation. So DJ AM starting, and that was like your inspiration. That was your motivation to really, okay, that's a hell of a mentor.
Yeah, I found him on MySpace.
Yeah, of course.
He had all his wordplay mixes on there.
Yes.
His his genre blending mixes on there, and I was like, wow, he did this routine with like Wonderwall, the Wonderwall acapella over like I don't know what kind of beat it was, instrumental below, and I was just like, well, whatever he's doing,
it was like magical, right?
Learn. Yeah, totally.
It like captured. It's like it was like hypnotic.
He's like a musical genius,
and like literally. Magician with audio illusion, because it's like, how is he doing that? And he was doing that stuff before Serato.
Oh my gosh, way before Serato.
Back when you'd mark your records with the little stickers on where to put the needle. And was it difficult to make the jump from vinyl to Serato for you?
It wasn't, because I was only on vinyl for about a year, and I still wasn't very good.
Right.
Like I was still trying to figure it all out. You
were
know,
still getting your formula.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it was cooler because like it was a lot cheaper. I felt like I spent more money on vinyl. It was like, because you didn't buy one record, you bought two.
Yeah,
of the same
you had to
record.
have doubles.
Yeah. So
now it's instant doubles.
Totally, but like it's definitely a lot cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. Except for the MP3s. Actual computers and the programs themselves aren't that expensive, but they force you to upgrade.
Yeah, they do.
There's no way you can go backwards, or you want to have the most up to date version of Serato and whatnot. I myself have gotten less out of DJing and more. Obviously, I'm more of a producer, radio guy. But when I do DJ, I think to myself, what if Serato was never invented? Yeah. What do you think you'd still be DJing if Serato wasn't around? If you had to lug around records like you did, like originally?
For sure, I would. Yeah, it's so much fun. Like the MP3 parts makes it. The MP3 part of the whole situation makes it easy, but like that creative process is still so much fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like and I think like with the vinyl, like hearing that crisp sound when you drop the needle on the vinyl always still feels really good.
Now, when I met you, DJ Lezlee, it was on Instagram.
Yes.
And for just a little disclaimer, my Instagram was suspended recently.
So what happened, Sketch? Because I thought you blocked me.
I know, and that's what I want to get to. I want to dip into that, but go ahead. What
I was going to show my girlfriend your Instagram because I'm like, I told her I was coming to do the podcast, and I wanted to show her like all the production work you do. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, I
can't find him.
He changed his name, and I tried like everything, and I'm like, did he block me? Or did I block him one night on accident? Like, I wasn't sure, but
you blocked me on Instagram, and now you're going to die.
No, none of that transpired. None of that blocking or even unfollowing. None of that happened. It was weird. And there's a couple of different little theories I have. The one is, and I want to get to the other topic that we're about to jump into as far as meeting each other on Instagram. But just for those right now that are curious about the whole Instagram debacle happening. But I'm on Instagram one night and it's late. It's around 11:30 at night. Suddenly it's all, your account's been suspended for 24 hours due to possible violation of community guidelines. You can dispute it. So I go to hit dispute and it takes me to another page. It's like, hey, you got to fill out your phone number. Instagram knows it's the phone number. I hit send the security code to take me to the next page so we can go to court. Right? Nothing comes through. No ding. I wait. It's all you get. This process could take up to a minute, and 5-10 minutes go by. No code. I said resend new code. Yes. Another 20 minutes go by. No code. What? I hit it a third time. 30 minutes later, and it's all, you've sent too many code requests. You got to wait another 24. So now I'm completely in limbo, not knowing why was my account suspended. I've never bullied or, gotten weird or pervy. I've never done that. Never.
Yeah,
I'm just not that type of guy. It's never a good look. It's never worked for any man in human history.
No.
So, and I'm not a D-pick guy. And besides, I have nothing to offer. Yeah. I literally have nothing to offer other than my knowledge of production and some DJing.
You
and
have
my
a lot.
podcast.
You're a great guy.
Thank you so much. By the way, I'm glad you said, hey, I thought you blocked me.
And now you're going to die.
You know, you're pretty popular, and of all people to go, hey, did you block me?
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I'm going to go on Facebook, I'm going to go on Twitter and LinkedIn and post up, hey, my IG account got suspended for 24 hours. If I didn't follow you, if anybody's worried, or if you even care, I'm in limbo right now, so just FYI.
But hey, I'm curious to hear how this turns out. So make sure you update us, okay?
Keep you posted. Get it? See, I mean, I'll be here till they fire me. Thank you.
Here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so back to DJ Lezlee's history and getting into DJing.
Yes.
The very first thing with the DJ AM was definitely a big inspiration, as he was to many. But what was the first gig that you DJ'd? When, where, that really just sparked it? Where you're like, this is it. Like, I got this down. Like, the moment hits you where you're like, fuck, I'm good. I'm decent enough that people are responding. When did that happen?
That happened about 2 weeks ago. No, I'm dead serious. You know, I've been doing this 13 years, but, you know, I feel like, you know, I mean, there's so much more. There's so much that goes into DJing. I think, like, not only are you playing music, but it's like, what is it? Showmanship. It's, you know, on the microphone. It's, you know, having that energy. It's like reading the room, hitting your cues on time. There's so much. And I really, truly feel like this year has been the year where, like, I really got it down.
Like you arrived.
Yeah.
You finally arrived and you feel like you're there in your own skin.
Exactly.
And mentally, right?
Like, I'm meant to be here.
Right.
Yeah, totally. And I actually had a gig in the gig we were just talking about, Toronto, a few weeks ago. And that was the most confident that I've felt, like, walking onto that stage. It was such a big crowd, like 3,500 people in the crowd. Massive place. Sound system's incredible. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like, they had a whole presentation for me when I walked out on stage with my name, you know, the girls that hold up the signs. It was really, really cool. But I just felt like I didn't even think about being worried or nervous. Am I going to do good? I felt like I belonged there.
Yeah, this is it.
Like, I didn't freak out seeing that large crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you usually get a little nervous before every gig? Do you get the little jitters, or is it an alcohol thing that calms it down? Are you a drinker when you DJ?
I don't like to drink until I've already started. Like, I like to start my set. I like to feel confident, comfortable, and then I'm like, okay, pour it up. Let's have one to, like, you know, calm the nerves. But, you know, normally I'm nervous if it's a new city. You know, there's so much that goes into, like, every city's different.
Did you ever feel like I'm not good enough? I don't know if I can do this. Did you ever feel that?
All the time. But I just went and, you know, the one thing about me is, like, you offer me something, a job, an opportunity, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take.
I know you're here right now, which is crazy. I'm still baffled by it. I'm like, yeah, she said yes.
No,
and she showed up.
Listen. That was what people ask me, like, what has been, you know, like, the key to your, you know, success, which I, even hearing that success, I'm like, I'm still working on my success, but I never said no. I always said yes to everything. Even if I knew, I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is going to end up, turn out, but just go. What's the worst that can happen?
Right. Yeah, no, you have nothing to lose, too, at the same time.
It's experience. At the end of the day, it's experience that, you know, I now have because I didn't say no. If I was scared and I was always like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready, I'm going to kind of just wait a little bit longer.
You've never, like, canceled on a gig, right? You've never, like, I can't do, like, you got so scared, or you're just like, I'm good. You always went through with it.
Always, yeah.
And there's something else I got to touch on, too, is the nails that you have are fantastic. I wish you could see these right now. They're very long. They're very, I got to say, they're very sexy.
And they're red.
And they're red as hell. Like, very passionate red, but I mean, just the long, square look. You know, I'm a big fan. Huge fan of that.
Thank you.
But my question is, DJing with those nails, I find myself, I could barely DJ with my fingers as is. I got these long phalanges. Yeah. But I'm always hitting wrong shit. Do they ever fuck you up?
All the time. But, you know, I just started wearing them this long. I had a photo shoot a few weeks ago, so that's why they're this long.
But you don't DJ with them that long?
I did a few times. I had to. Yeah. And it's
I've seen you on the air when you were, okay. Let's get into that real quick part of the podcast. Is your former history here at REAL92-3 with the Cruz Show, which you recently departed from to pursue, obviously, your other life ambitions and goals in DJing, to travel and whatnot, which is, hey, you were here. Now, Lezlee didn't just come and go, hey, you know, I'm here. I'm too big now. I'm famous. I know. I want to put that out there. I want to speak for you on this. It's like, hey, she put in her fucking 10 million hours. Yeah, this was her first big major radio gig, and working in LA radio is not fucking easy. Oh no, especially at iHeart.
The thing is, when you get on, it's actually more work.
Oh, it is.
Like, it's hard work getting on, but when you're on, it's like 10 times
you got to maintain it too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then you have not just that, it's not just being on air and being dope on air, it's the maintain of having to do all your commercials.
Oh yeah,
which is it's a feat in itself.
Yeah, that can be a lot.
Yeah.
That can be a lot. But no, I mean, yeah, I started here at Real 92.3 2016.
Yeah,
2016.
I remember.
Yeah,
and that was the first time we met in person.
In person, yes, because we had always been communicating via
Instagram.
Text,
when I was still,
Instagram.
my account wasn't suspended. The good old days.
Oh, Sketch. R.I.P. Sketch's Instagram.
What's going to happen?
Man.
But yeah, we met on Instagram. We communicated for many years. And then eventually, I remember asking you to come on my show on Ski 24/7 when I was doing that back in the day before Dash Radio. And then that never happened. And I remember, what was his name? I don't want to start putting out names. Let's just say, yes, Jay something. No, not Jay. That's a rapper artist, right? No, it was Jay something.
Okay.
But Jay something ended up getting you on his show, and I ended up getting him a show. So basically, he poached you from me.
What?
He poached you, and I think he already knew you too from the club circuit. So you guys kind of probably already knew each other in person. You had never met me in person, so it was still like. But I would always ask you, "Hey, will you be DJ on my show? You'll be a guest on my show," and you never. It never happened.
Man.
And then even when Dash Radio came around, it also never happened.
What?
And I was like, but I was so mad at the Jay guy.
I think it was Jay Valentino.
Okay, well, let's just say it's him. But I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
But it was just, I remember, and it made me really angry. Not at you, just at the fact that every person I brought on my show at the time, because I was the only one that had a show other than Ski himself, which was his station or his app. But I remember I was the first guy to have a show, the Sketch-O-Matic show, right?
Sketch.
That was me.
That's
right?
iconic. Because,
it was.
Yeah.
And this is pre-Dash Radio. So...
And in the culture, radio culture, LA culture, I feel like Ski TV was a big
Ski TV
deal.
and then Ski 24/7, which was the radio app that he had.
So congrats to you. I didn't know that you were the first show. That's really cool.
That was back in the day. And I remember, shout out to J Love, who put me on. But then they would ask me, hey, can you bring on other DJs? We're trying to bring more people. So I go, hey, let's bring on so-and-so. Let's bring him, her, blah, blah, blah. And all these people would come on my show. And then the next day, even that night, would have their own show with their own banners.
What?
And I would get no love.
Oh, no.
I would get zero love. None. These people would just totally disown me as like somebody who helped them come up. That's what makes me not want to help people. Getting back to Real 92.3, the Cruz Show. You were here prior to the Cruz Show arriving. You were already doing your own. Were you DJing on the air and you're running the board? But you were doing your own show too, right? You were on at one point, like weekends.
Yeah, I was on weekends
right?
in the middle of the night. I think it was like 1 a.m.
And
to
never
5
did
a.m.
radio before in your life.
No,
like
never did
not
radio.
Live major market
No,
radio. No power. No nothing.
Nothing. No. But I always knew as a kid, I wanted to work in radio. That was my dream job. Yeah.
And so how do you get connected to Doc? How does that come about?
This is such a crazy story.
Here we go.
So here's what happened.
Hold on, DJ Lezlee exclusive on the Sketch-O-Matic Show podcast.
So basically, what happened was one night in 2016, I get booked to DJ at a club in Downey called Club DB Lounge, and that night it just so happens that Doc, Ayo, Ide, and Louie are at the same club. They're scoping out the club because they want to do a cross promotion with the club and the station. So when I walk in, I see them, and then I see people from Power, and I'm like, okay, so-and-so from Power is here too. So I'm confused. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but this is
war is about to break out.
And then I see someone from the Spanish radio station there too, and I'm like, what is going on tonight?
Wow.
This is gonna be good. I came on a good night. And then out of nowhere, I get on, I start DJing, I'm doing my thing, and Ide runs up. She used to be on Big Boy's Neighborhood. She runs up and she's like, me and her met 3 years prior at an event. She runs up and she's like, oh my God, you're the DJ tonight, yay. And she's like, I'm gonna tell my boss to come up here and meet you. She's like, I really want you to work with us. Shout out to Ide. That was Jesus. So anyway, Doc comes up and I had heard the name, but I didn't know what he looked like. We'd never met in person.
I never knew what he looked like. He was like an enigma.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was a mysterious, mythical entity of radio.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. So he comes up and I see him behind me and he's kind of just, he's just chilling. He's kind of watching me. He's not creepy or anything. I could tell he's somebody important because he's dressed really, really nice, but he's not doing too much. He's kind of in the cut hiding, almost like he doesn't want to be seen. Yeah. So, but I still don't know who that's Doc Wynter. Right. So anyway, he comes up, shortly into maybe 20 minutes into my set. He hands me a card and he's like, "Here's my card. Nice to meet you. We should talk." And I was like, "Wow." Cool. I look at the card. I'm like, "Holy, that's Doc Wynter. He just gave me his card. What the?" So anyway, long story short, we, the whole process from actually meeting him to like actually getting on air took about maybe April, May, June, July. Took about 3 to 4 months.
And were you on the edge of your seat? Did you reach out to him first?
No, first. So Ayo reached out to me first, and he was like, "Hey, can you come in this week and meet?" And
he called you, text you,
he
email?
sent me a text.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you knew it was him right away. What did the text say? Do you remember?
The text said something like, "Hey, what's up? Are you free to come in on Thursday to meet with me and Doc?"
Wow.
Doc Wynter.
And were you like, holy shit?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
It's going down.
This actually, like, they actually followed through. Because, a lot of times people give you...
Yeah, just for show.
Yeah, for sure. False, hopes or whatever. So I come in, I meet with Ayo only, and... it was really weird. It was like, I wasn't sure if it was an interview or what was happening, because he was like on a few calls, but I was kind of just sitting there, and like he would ask me a few questions in between the calls, and yeah, I was like, okay, I don't know if this is an interview. I don't know what's happening here. I think maybe he was just trying to feel me out, You
see where your head's at.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of person you are.
Exactly. Which I get.
He already knows you can DJ.
Right.
But can you handle what he's about to throw at you?
Yes, the pressure. Am I nervous? Like, what's my... Yeah, totally. So he walks me over to Doc's office. Doc is so serious with me. He's in... one of the main questions he asked me was like, how did you learn how to DJ? Who taught you?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
Yeah, and I said, no one. I'm like, I taught myself.
Really?
Yeah, and he's
Let's quickly digress into that really quick and then get back to Doc. I want to know, okay, so getting into DJing, AM being the motivator, one of the motivators, I'm sure there was many others, but actually you said you got yourself some janky turntables, you had some vinyl, and what were the first 2 records do you remember mixing together? Like the first doubles? What song was it?
First doubles. I know there was a 50 Cent record in there. I think it might have been 50 Cent, How We Do.
This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club.
Oh, it might have been How We Do and Hate It or Love It.
Hate it or love it, the underdogs on top. And I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart stops.
I was a big 50 Cent fan.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was fire when he came out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, people were losing their minds.
Still to this day.
Yeah, and not only that, but the story that 50, getting shot 9 times, driving himself. This guy's like the Terminator.
And he built an empire.
Yes.
Like, not just music. He has the vodka, the acting, the shows.
Yeah.
Like,
so you start mixing his songs, and you start doing doubles, and then what? Then what transpires from there? You start teaching yourself, looking at videos of DJ Qbert and of AM.
There was no YouTube.
There was no YouTube.
YouTube wasn't around yet.
It wasn't around yet. That's right.
I mean, if it was, I didn't know about it.
Right, I didn't know about it till later.
Yeah, I didn't know about it till like maybe a good 10 years after that.
Yeah.
But so basically what happens is I just would go to the clubs. I would go to the clubs and I'd sit behind the DJ. Because I had a lot of friends that were DJ. I would literally just watch. I would just watch what they were doing, and I would go home and try it. Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
Okay, so now fast forward back to Doc, right? You teach yourself how to DJ. He's like, oh my God, you taught yourself how to DJ. Then what? He's like, we want to try you out at what time, on what weekend, what goes on from there?
And then he says, we might have a few slots available during some of the holidays. Would you be interested? And I said, yeah. I'm like, absolutely. Yeah. And so then, it was very, again, he was very serious. He's asked me about where I'm from. He's like, how are you working with other females? And I'm like, it's fine. I know a lot of the girls at work already, so shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
And that was that. It was really short. And then Ayo calls me again about a week later, and he's like, hey, can you come in again? Doc wants to talk to you again. And this time Doc is more friendly. He's a little more loose. Right. Turns out it's his birthday.
Oh.
But it's also my birthday.
Oh, you have the same birthday?
Yeah.
What day is it?
April 27th.
Holy moly.
Yes.
What sign is that again? Is that
Taurus.
Taurus. That's right. I remember Doc is a Taurus.
Yeah.
I keep trying to remember all the Tauruses. I know you're the second. You're the first because I know you first, then Doc. But yeah, wow, man, the same birthday.
Same birthday.
He's now nicer to you.
He's a lot more loose.
Or just looser, just open. You already went through, he kind of vetted you already, per se.
Exactly. Right. He was able to feel me out, feel my energy. It's his birthday. He's in a good mood.
Right.
But yeah, so Ayo's like, can you come in on Thursday? I think it was a Friday this time. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. I knew it was my birthday, but I was like, I'm not going to take the day off. I'm going to meet Doc Wynter on my birthday. Like at the time I lived in Pomona, so traffic was crazy.
Really?
It was like a 2-hour drive.
Holy shit! I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew where you lived. I didn't know anything about you, Lezlee.
Well, I'm from the Valley. I'm from San Fernando Valley, but I lived in Pomona for a few years.
My mom was from San Fernando Valley. So was my grandma. My grandmother's from Burbank, but my whole family is like San Fernando. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love it.
I wonder if my family knows your family somehow.
Probably. It's a very small valley. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, Lezlee.
I love the Valley. I'm a Valley girl for life. But I moved to Pomona for a few years, and so I'm on. I drive 2 hours to meet with Doc that day. It's my birthday. I'm in a good mood. I think I'm wearing like a rocker tee. Can't remember which one.
Fire.
It's
always fire.
My hair was cute. It was pink. I combed it that day. I took a shower. I put some makeup on. I was smelling good. It was my birthday, Sketch. I have to come in feeling right.
You always are.
And so when I come in here, Doc, he knew it was my birthday, and so we hugged, and he's like, "Hey, it's my birthday too." It was a moment.
It's like that I Love Lucy episode.
Yes.
It's my birthday too. Yeah. Nobody that's listening that's younger is going like, "What the fuck is Lucy?
Who's Lucy?
Yeah,
Why do you love her?"
Yeah, ask Siri.
Yeah.
She's my birthday too. It is. See.
Okay.
But we had a moment, and I really think like that kind of maybe helped.
Right. Well, obviously you had a connection.
Yeah.
It wasn't just. I hear what you're saying. He's very. He can be very aloof. Doc. Not in a bad way, but it's like you're not sure where you stand.
Exactly.
You're like, was that good? Was that bad? He has almost no response. It's like, you're just like, I have no idea if that was good or bad.
Yeah.
He could be ecstatic about something and not say a word.
Not one word.
Which I respect about
emotion.
him. Yeah. It's the best kind of boss you need where he doesn't go like, he's not like hey man, that was great. Everything you do is great. Even if it's bad. Or he's not downplaying everything you do when it's good. It's just like, you just don't know. And he kind of keeps you on your toes with that, right?
Yeah,
so
totally.
he puts you on the holiday weekend. Are you DJing on the air, or are you running the board first?
No, this is a mix. It's a pre-recorded mix.
Oh,
so
okay.
I turn in the mix, and then the on-air personality will come in and talk over the mix.
Right.
Yeah. So
and you pre-recorded that one take live on your own turntables, or did you pre-produce it on the computer?
So that was in April, right? That second meeting was in April. I didn't get on until like maybe Memorial holiday.
Wow, it took a minute after that.
It took a while.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a few months. He randomly sends me a text message, and he's like, "Hey, are you ready to DJ on air?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I've been waiting for this text for months. Yeah, let's do it." And so I recorded the mix, and it was a 20-minute mix. It took me a whole day. Like, I just wanted it to be perfect.
Right. No, just get into the details. Walk me through. Are you DJing? You hit record. How does it? You hit record on your laptop? What do you do to record it into what medium? Off your turntables?
I recorded off my turntables, off Serato, into my laptop.
Gotcha.
And so, but the thing is, like, there's a list of like powers and new songs and like
the charts, the real charts.
Right. So it's not like I can just go in there and play whatever I want.
Right.
So
it's not a club.
I think the thing that like kind of was hard for me is like adapting to like, now there's a format that I have to follow.
Yeah, that's and it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough because you're kind of essentially mixing the same songs over and over again to a degree, and a lot of them are slow.
Yeah.
Because the hip hop now, today's state of hip hop is like 70 BPM or even slower.
Yeah,
with really fast mumble rapping. And where do you come in at? Did you find it difficult to not just adapt to the charting, but to have to DJ at a much slower pace than what you were used to in the club circuit?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like, in the club circuit, it definitely is more high energy. There's breaks, there's hype edits, there's
hype
drums,
on the mic. You got little John over there.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely the formatting. There's the powers that you play at a certain time in the mix. With the new song, you play at a certain time. You don't just play what you want.
Right. In any order.
No,
it has to be a certain order.
Yeah.
And even though it appears that way to the general listener, the average listener, what's known as layman, not saying you're lame, it's just saying you're not in radio and you don't know how it works. You listen, but you're listening and you think, a lot of the listeners think that you're playing it out of your own regard. Like you're like, I'm going to play this song, this Drake record again.
Yeah.
No, it's by the rules or I'm going to lose my job.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's definitely hard to grasp onto, but you definitely got it down. Then, now we're going to move a little fast forward. We're going to. Did you have anything you wanted to close on that? Because I just wanted to jump into Cruz real quick.
No, that's all.
Okay,
that's
so
all.
then, now fast forward.
Okay.
You've been working. Cruz isn't here yet, but then Cruz arrives around April. Remember, it was April of 2019.
Yes.
That was right. And it was right after Nipsey passed away. I remember all this kind of happened at the same time.
Right.
And then Cruz Show. Did you know Cruz was coming over?
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
It
was a surprise like everybody else. Yeah.
The same day that they announced to the radio crew that they were coming was the same day I found out I was going to DJ on their show. Doc literally called me. It was that week. They came in on a Monday. Doc called me like that weekend and he's like, hey, can you come in camera ready on Monday? But you know, Doc, if you don't know, Doc will like randomly plan a photo shoot for the radio crew for, you know, just because he's like, all right, it's time to take new pics, and he'll like tell us come ready on this day. So I thought that's what it was. It was like another photo shoot that Doc planned, you know. I didn't really think anything of it. Wow. And yeah, so I come to work on Monday. I'm camera ready. Ayo is here in the studio and he's like, hey, I'm gonna walk you to the iHeart Theater. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, just me? And he's like, yeah. And so we're walking over, super top secret.
Totally.
As we're walking there, he's like, do you have any idea what's happening? And I'm like, I have no idea, Ayo. All I know is that it's hot as fuck and I'm dressed up and my makeup is melting.
Oh my God. Ayo, dude. And I love how cool he is.
Yeah.
And he's another one. Yeah. No reaction. It's complete like a hitman.
No, yeah. So we walk in and Imani is working the front door. You know, she was like, I think she was like in charge of promotions here.
And she was setting up events. I remember she would connect a lot. It wasn't just promotion, like street promotion. She did a lot, She connected the events that all brought it together.
She was the girl, for sure. So basically, like when Ayo walks me to the theater, she's at the door and Imani asked she asked Ayo, is she supposed to be here? Ooh. And Ayo's like, yeah, she's part of it. And I'm like, part of what?
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening?
It's already intriguing.
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening? I don't know what's happening, but it's very top secret. I'm concerned.
I'm concerned.
I'm like, am I being punked? Like,
right.
Is my, you know,
Ashton Kutcher's gonna come running out.
Yeah. So I go into the restroom. I'm in the theater. I'm like freshening up my makeup. It was a really hot day in April. And out of nowhere, I see Lechero. And I'm like, and Lechero was a part of the Cruz Show that was, you know, across the street.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh,
this is random.
Lechero. I'm like, but we don't know each other yet.
Right.
So he's like, what's up, fool? And I'm like, what's up? And then out of nowhere, I see Cruz, and then I see Jeff, and then like a whole bunch of people that I've like never seen in my life just walk
from Power
towards
at
me.
An iHeart Theater.
Not just Power, but from like sales people here from sales.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the higher ups were here.
The VPs are here. The suits.
I know the names. I don't know what they look like.
Yeah,
but they're all
JT
walking
and them. Yeah.
towards me, congratulating me, giving me a high five. You know, shaking my hand.
And you're like, what's happening?
And I'm like, what did I do? Did I win an award? I don't know what's happening.
Like, I just went to go freshen up my makeup.
Truly don't know what happened.
God, that's fantastic.
So then I see Doc, and Doc comes out from nowhere, and he like puts his arm over my shoulder, and he's like, so I didn't even ask you, are you interested in DJing for the Cruz Show?
Oh my God.
Because they're coming over. They're here from
they're making the move.
2 to 7. Yeah, they're making the move. I'm like, oh my God, Doc, are you serious right now? And he's like, yep. He's like, you're the first person I thought of for this. And he's like, they said they needed a female voice, and I thought you would be perfect.
And not only that, but being the female co-host also, but the DJ,
DJ
of the
co-host,
show.
Yeah.
That's something that, you know, is unprecedented in a lot of ways, you know, especially in Los Angeles. Now, let me quickly dive a little deeper since we're on this subject. Not only are you one of the first female DJs and / co-hosts simultaneously,
at the same time.
But like now I gotta jump in. You said it's cool. The first lesbian DJ.
I am.
Yes, and that is something that is also fucking fantastic.
I know, it's so cool.
It's so LA.
It's so LA.
It's so 2022, and at the time it was 2019.
Yes.
You know, and to me, I don't want to just bring light to it because like, oh my God, she's gay. So let's all just dive on that fact. I want to talk about, when did you first realize your sexuality, and when were you able to come out about it to your family and to the rest of the world? Did you social media, how did that come about in the process, at the same time of you being a female DJ and being all over, men all over the place, I'm sure hounding you? It's how difficult was it to weather those waters? I knew I was gay at a really young age. Really?
Yeah, I knew
what age?
My attraction to girls was different. I was like maybe in the second grade.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
I got to be honest. I thought it was something that that like you didn't get to till
I was older.
Till like I'm going to be completely transparent with you. Nothing bad. It's just in my, you know how people have their own, they run their own playthrough in their head. When I first met you, I was like, oh my God, she's gorgeous, right? On Instagram, right? And you're totally my type. Like when it comes to a physical structure of a female Latina, I was like, wow. And at the time I had a girlfriend. Okay. Right. And I remember she saw you and I didn't know you were lesbian. I didn't know that. I just knew that you were really hot and you were a female DJ and you were willing to do drops for me. Yes. And I never got those either, but that didn't happen. But it's okay because it was kind of a ploy to just talk to you. So I'll be honest about that. Wow. But I did need drops and I needed a female voice, but I didn't know what you sounded like. So I remember telling my girlfriend at the time, I'm like, I'm going to try to get some drops. And she's all, oh, you just want to fuck her. Right. And I'm like, you know, I couldn't say no immediately, but I remember in that moment, I'm not even kidding you, the universe almost had my back and wrote me a pass because I'm on Instagram that day looking at your picture showing my girlfriend, I'm going to work with her. She's supposed to do drops for me. And then as I scrolled up, I saw like a post with you in front of a flag though. It was a gay pride flag. Yeah. But in that moment, I wasn't certain if I just went, oh, well, she's gay. Yeah. I just pointed, I said, she's gay. But I was shocked. I was like, is this real? Not bad. I just was like, God damn it, there goes my shot. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Man. This is how much of a fucking just a male ego I had back then. This is an old, younger, straight drinker, alcoholic sketch. Like just anything came to mind, anything went.
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. It was just over a decade ago that I got introduced to you via Instagram. But obviously, you know, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. But then when I learned that you were lesbian, I was like, wow, that is actually really cool because I'd never really met a female DJ that's lesbian and that's really good looking and that's Latina. And that's out. And that's out and totally just... Is it what's called lipstick lesbian? Lipstick lesbian, Now, are you what's also known as a gold star lesbian? That you've never been with a male? You've never been. I mean, I'll edit this out if you want. No, it's fine. I've never been with a male. I've never felt like I need to be with one. Really?
No. Yeah.
See, oh my God. This is
never
mind-blowing.
felt like I needed to be with one. Because to me, it's not really like
you don't need anything.
The sex. Like I like it's my connection
right.
With women is like it's what it's all about. And even at like a young age, it was my connection with women. Yeah, it's
fascinating.
So bizarre.
It's fascinating.
I'm trying to figure out like how, why.
But I mean, you're happy. That's all that matters. And are you currently seeing someone?
I am.
You are, right? You have a girlfriend.
I have a girlfriend. We've been together for it's gonna be 9 months now. And this is her first relationship with a girl.
Really?
So it's been pretty cool to like, you know.
Yeah, connect with someone.
Yeah,
and also be there first.
Yes.
Right.
And kind of like. I never wanted to like put any pressure on her. I was like, look, if we do it, whatever we do, like I kind of want you to always lead because I don't want to ever feel like I'm pressuring. But yeah, everything's great. Like honestly, this is like the most in love I've ever been in my entire life.
God, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. I am. I really am because I know you and I feel like you deserve that. You deserve, I think everybody deserves to be happy. What's her name? Can we say her? Can we shout her out? Or do you just want to say shout out to your love?
Shout out to my boo. I love you.
Yeah. No, she knows who she is. And I'm jealous. But I was going to say the perspective.
Yes.
In my mind, when I was talking about earlier about the playthrough in my mind, right? When I was like, oh, she's gay. Oh, okay. How did Lezlee become gay? I never talked to you. This is essentially, let's remind people, this is our first real sit down conversation. Yeah. We've always worked alongside each other for years. Hey, what's up? We've had little conversations in the studio about work and about this and about that, but never this. Yeah. This is a whole different level and we've known each other for years, which is why I feel comfortable in talking to you about this because I want other people, other humans that are possibly in the same scenario as you were, coming out, being a DJ, feeling
on air,
on, trying to get on air, whatever it may be, trans, whatever, non-binary. I feel like people that are listening that may also know somebody like that. But for me personally, when I was like, okay, in my mind, she has been with a guy and he totally did her fucking wrong, and she somehow got, or maybe she was bisexual from the very beginning. I just didn't know. I couldn't pinpoint is she a lipstick? I mean, is she a gold star? Obviously, your lipstick, but is she a gold star? Is she? And I want to know this. And I was like, do I ask her on the podcast? Will she feel comfortable? But it is really fascinating to know you've never been with a male.
Never.
And I applaud that.
Yeah, never.
Because honestly, you're not missing anything.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I hear a lot of. Actually, it's always in the middle. Some girls are like, really, girl? You ain't had none? I'm like, nope. But here's the thing. I did have boyfriends in junior high school.
So you have been with, you've kissed a man.
I've kissed, but I've never, boys. Like, that's it. Just kissed and hold hands.
Never intercourse of any kind.
Not even close.
And you've never wanted to be with a man? I feel like I have to ask that.
No.
You never had like even in a drunk like state of mind where you're like, I'd be with, nothing.
No.
Now, what about the on-air relationship you had with Lechero, which was obviously only for on-air?
Yeah, it was on-air.
It was just all. Did other people start to suspect that you weren't actually gay? Did that start to backfire a little bit? Yeah.
I would get DMs from, girls in the community, and they'd say like, you're a disgrace.
No.
Like this is getting weird. Like,
and did you know these people?
No, these aren't people that I know.
That's the thing that drives me nuts. It's like, okay, I get that they're part of the community,
right?
But it's not you. You're not in my life. What business do you have telling me where, even if you did switch sides, let's say hypothetically you did start dating. So what?
Exactly.
So what?
I'm human, right? I mean,
you have the right to change your mind.
Yeah, it's possible. I know a lot of people that have.
Hey, a lot of people went from straight to gay.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
It'll happen every once in a while. But no.
But for you, it did not happen. You did date boys when you were in junior high. But then when did the actual the moment that it came where you're like, I'm definitely lesbian?
Yeah.
And when were you able to convey that to your family? And how difficult was that?
So it was the 8th grade, right? It was literally the last day of school in the 8th grade. I'm with the girls that I hang out with. We lock arms when we walk like in a straight line. And for some reason, when one of the girls locked arms with me, like I got butterflies.
Wow,
it was
I know that
so
feeling.
Interesting. And I was like, that really caught me off guard. And so I literally went home and I spent the entire summer trying to figure out like why I felt that. And then I just realized like, I think I'm gay. And I would wake up every single day that summer. And like, that was the first thing on my mind was like, holy crap, I'm gay. Like, what's my family going to say?
Now, were you worried about that? Did you feel like you being gay, realizing it did you feel like you were wrong? Like, were you raised that way with the, Latino and the Catholic and, blah, blah, blah.
We were definitely, we were a little bit, we weren't, now that I think of it, my grandma was pretty religious and she was into church, but my mom wasn't. No, my mom kind of was like, if you want, it's cool. If you don't, it's cool. Like,
more liberal
if you want to go,
right,
for sure.
God's everywhere.
Yeah. My mom, she was,
My mom was the same way. Hardcore about Catholic. But not like me. You have to.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like that. But okay, so
that was really cool about my mom.
Yeah, that's the same thing with my mom. She was the first liberal I knew, and one of my best friends, and not just my mom. And rest in peace, Diana Ray. But the fact that so your parents and you waking up every day during a summer going, oh my God, I'm gay. What's my parents gonna think? So eventually you get to the day.
Yeah.
Does this last the entire summer? You didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything.
And then we're into the new year or into the next school year.
Yeah. So basically. It's now 8th grade is after summer. I'm going into the 9th grade, which is high school. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I know it's going to come out one day. But I wasn't ready to face my friends.
And you hadn't kissed a girl or anything yet?
No, nothing.
Not the song, but
nothing.
Yeah.
No, still didn't kiss a girl. Still didn't tell my family. Still didn't like nothing with a woman yet. Right. And so I asked my mom to send me to a different high school, not the high school that my friends were at, because I just was like, I didn't feel ready to face them. These are friends that I had since like elementary school, junior, we came up together from elementary, junior high, and then
lifelong
high school.
Friends.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't want to face them. I just couldn't. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do.
And that's probably even worse about the family than the family.
Oh my God,
it's like your social awkwardness about it. Yeah.
So I asked my mom to send me, I was supposed to go to North Hollywood High School, and I'm like, can you please send me somewhere else? I go to Grant for 1 month.
I remember Grant.
Yeah. It's literally my first day, and I'm like in one of my classes, and in come these 2 gay guys, and they are dressed so cool. They are hanging out with all the pretty girls. Of
course.
And nobody's bothering them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wait a minute.
Like acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay.
And not only that, but I've never met a badly gay dressed person in my life.
Never.
Ever. And I don't think you ever will. I mean, you may see some dressed down with like the more like man bun, earthy beard, flip flops. But even those guys are still like clean as surgeons.
Always.
It's wild to me.
Yes, you gotta have at least one gay guy in your. You
gotta have one in your crew.
He will help you for sure with your fashion.
That's so
no,
good.
but and in my head I'm thinking like, okay, well these guys can freaking be out and happy and like no one's bugging them. Then maybe I can too. So I go home and I tell my mom, I'm like, I'm ready to go back to my school. You know, like I thought I wanted to come to
she didn't
Grant.
know yet.
She has no idea. She's like, child, make up your mind. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you know, if I have to keep enrolling you, because that's a process.
It's a lot of work. So,
but she, you know, she's so nice. She sends me back to North Hollywood High School. My first day, I'm literally registering into the school. My mom's in the office filling out the paperwork. I go to the restroom in the main hall, and as I'm in the restroom, there's a lesbian in the restroom, and she's like so cool and funny.
How do you know she's lesbian?
Because she definitely was like
out about it, like obvious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she
just
was
like the gay
definitely
guys.
like super stud, you know. And she like kind of hit on me a little bit, you know, but she was very playful about it,
right?
You know,
right. Not aggressive.
No, it was so playful. She kind of was like, "Yo, what's your name? Like, you're cute," type deal. And I just was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be, you know. And me and her ended up being really good friends, and she kind of showed me around, and you know, took me to a few like gatherings where there was other people that were gay, and then that's where like I met someone that ended up becoming my girlfriend. And one day she dropped me off at home, and we kissed. And when we kissed, a neighbor saw and basically told
you got outed I was so waiting to hear the story, like there was Christmas Eve or New Year's Day
by a neighbor. The neighbor told my older sister, and my older sister told my mom.
Oh my God. You're in 9th grade.
I'm in the 9th grade. But get this.
Go ahead.
My oldest sister's crying, and she's like, oh my God, like, how could you? And
what, like she's betrayed or something? Like you betrayed her.
She just couldn't believe it, which we were all really close. So I think she maybe felt like, but she did feel
I can get that to a degree, but at the same time, we all know that that's completely inaccurate. It has nothing to do with her.
So she tells my sister, my mom, and my mom's like, I've known. I was waiting for you to tell me.
What?
Yeah.
How cool is your mom?
Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to this subject, my mom's just been great all around. She's always let us express ourselves.
That's beautiful.
But you know, she's very much. She just wanted me to be happy and comfortable, and she's like, "You're my kid. Of course I know. Like I've known since I could tell when you were a kid, when you were little, you know,
before you even knew."
Yeah, and she just was like, "Look, just be safe because not everybody's gonna accept this lifestyle, and I just don't want anything to happen to you."
Right. I mean, that's very wise words from moms, no doubt.
I never felt like, you know, there's other members in my family, like my grandma. It took her a few years, my stepdad, but for the most part, I feel like I was pretty blessed to have a really, really understanding mom, which at the end, that's all that mattered was her.
And you're right. Let me ask you this. Now, you said she said, "Oh, I knew, and I was waiting for you to tell me," or just, you know, for you to know.
Yeah.
But what happens? So your sister's crying. She's in hysterics. Yeah. Mom's like, "Hey, man, we're good. Everything's hunky dory over here." Hunky-dory. But the neighbor who sees you, what does your mom say back to them when this neighbor outed you?
I don't think my mom and the neighbor had a conversation.
It was the sister.
It was my sister.
I see.
It is my sister. Yeah, my older sister. She's about 4 or 5 years older than me.
I see. And she's never had any kind of...
She's never had, no. And I'm probably, I think I'm the first in my family.
Now, let me ask you about the rest of the family. Is Pop still in the family? Is Dad still around?
No, he's in and out. He's been in and out for a while,
Yeah, my dad took off when I was 16. I don't even know if he's still alive. So I know exactly how that feels. But of course, I didn't have the weight on my shoulders of having to come out. If I myself was going through that confliction, would have I come out? You know what I mean? I have no idea how I would have done it. I feel like I could barely handle my life as it is.
As a straight person.
As a straight person. I feel, even then, I feel crazy. You know, I feel weird. Like, who am I? Who wants to be with me? I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I wouldn't want to wake up to you every day.
What?
You know, seriously, those thoughts run through your head. 'Cause as the older I get, it's just like, I used to be cute. I used to have hair. Girls used to like me. Gay guys used to like me. Not anymore.
Oh, Sketch, you need to give yourself a little more credit. I'm serious.
Good. I feel like I'm better off. I'm married to the game. I'm married to doing this production. Yeah. You know what it is? Let's just be honest. You were really honest with me. You've given me a lot of insight and personal information, and to the person listening to this podcast who may not already know you like I know you, but they know of you. And somebody who may have never heard of you, who's just listening now, who's never heard of me. But as far as me, I feel like I've been in not so many, but enough bad toxic relationships that lasted for years. Like, I'm a one-woman kind of dude. When I'm with a woman, I'm with her for at least 8 years.
Yeah.
And I've been engaged twice.
Oh, wow.
Didn't work out. Not their fault. Probably mostly my fault, because I was a drinker. I was an addict. You know, I'm sober Sally now. Well, I still smoke weed, but that doesn't count. I don't drink anymore. And I look back through the same set of eyes and I'm like, damn, I wish I could go back and tell myself what I know now. And that didn't hit me until my mom passed. Until my mom died, I still kept drinking and doing blow and, you know, raging and partying. Not really out of depression, maybe it was, but I feel like I just did it because I like to get high. You know what I mean? I like the feeling, and mostly because I'm bored. I don't really go out. I don't DJ. I used to, but when I would DJ, I would just get hammered. I'd make a fool of myself sometimes, black out, have to wake up, call people to apologize that you don't know.
That's the worst.
It's the worst. Alcohol never really did good things for me.
Yeah,
it made some connections. I'm not going to lie. I met a lot of people through alcohol and made a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
say, and maybe blow.
Well, blow was always in suit right behind it. If there was booze involved by 1:30, I'm calling my dealer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm coming through right now. But it was fun. It was a fun time. But ultimately, I only felt like shit after.
Yeah, in the end,
Do you curse, Lezlee?
I do.
Do you curse?
Fuck yeah.
All right. There we go. I always feel like people, because you're so conditioned to not curse on the air. But my podcast set to explicit, and I feel like people need to curse just to get it out. Yeah, and it's so cute when you curse. It's so like little. Oh, fuck yeah.
Of course I curse.
I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have things to do, places to go, and hands to shake, and turntables to spin.
But you know, it's funny you brought up alcohol.
Go ahead.
I recently also gave up alcohol. Yeah. For the same reason, I just felt like...
But you were never an alcoholic like me,
No, I wasn't an alcoholic, no. But I just started to realize that, I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't doing any good in my life anymore.
Eventually, to me, I think what you're saying is the well runs dry, but in reverse.
Yeah, exactly.
You've had too much alcohol. Did you ever get those gnarly kind of blackout hangovers? Did you ever experience that?
I recently started to experience where I'm just so tired and like it's not one day, it's 2 days of recovery.
Right.
And
sometimes
I don't
3.
know. Yeah, and I feel like we're at the point now where it's like...
You're not a spring chicken.
No.
Not saying you're old, but your body just doesn't bounce back like that anymore.
And I feel like we have goals now that are bigger than they were before. So it's like, we know like if we want to achieve those goals, we can't just be out here being hungover every day.
I can't do it. I just can't. I feel so much better now.
Yeah. I'm glad that phase is over.
Yeah. So how long have you been sober from the booze?
I'll still have like a seltzer or a glass of wine.
Right.
You know, here and there, but I don't do shots.
Right.
No more.
So no more DJing and drinking at the same time.
I'll have a beer.
But you won't no more shots while drinking.
Yeah, no more shots.
Do you have any other vices, Lezlee? Do you smoke weed at all?
I do smoke sometimes.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
help me relax a little bit.
Yeah. But you're not. I just don't see you doing much of anything.
No,
like as far as substances.
No, I mean I tried coke once when I was like 17. I didn't like it. I ended up plucking out all my eyebrows.
Oh, that's when you're like tweaking though.
Yeah.
That's like tweaking.
I don't know what it was, but I was 17. I tried it and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Eventually, it just turns into you have to keep doing it. Because it's just addicting.
Yeah. You know, for me personally, like, I just want to be the best.
Okay. I really feel like I gotta sum up and wrap up what we were talking about with Cruz.
Okay.
I want to quickly just punctuate and close that little chapter because I feel like the people need to know. So you were with Cruz for what? Since 2019?
Yeah, so it's
3 years. 3 years. First radio, big major market gig. You put in your 10,000 hours even prior to getting on the radio and DJing. It's not like you just jumped to the forefront of the line because you're a female and you're a lesbian. It has nothing to do with it. You put in your work.
Yes.
Doc liked you and you have the same birthday. Okay, that may be a plus.
Today she's my birthday too.
But you did it. You enjoyed it, right? We enjoyed it. I loved hearing you on the air with them and with Lechetto and the whole thing. But then what happens? What comes into mind where you're like, it's time to move on? What initially brought that feeling into fruition?
You know, I felt like I realized that I didn't really like give my actual DJ career like as much attention as I should have. And I felt like originally like that was like my love, you know? And I really wanted to try to, you know, give it my all because I felt like if it were to end tomorrow, would I feel like, damn, I really really
Right.
achieved what I wanted to achieve.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I still don't feel like I'm there. I still feel like I'm still working on that, which it's fun. I'm happy that I made the decision, because I didn't leave on bad terms.
No.
It was I'm very thankful for
people leave shows.
Cruz.
It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? A
totally.
lot of people leave Howard Stern show. People leave shows all the time. It's nothing new.
Yes.
It is jarring though when people do leave.
Yeah,
when you
it's a
grow
breakup.
accustomed to it. It's like watching your favorite character on TV show and then they switch
they're
it out
gone.
and they're
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
because they want to move on and not somebody else replaces them. But in your case, obviously they needed another female
Right,
co-host, which
right.
is Jackie Ramirez. Shout out
Oh,
to
she's
Jackie
awesome.
Ramirez.
I love her.
I call her the young mini J-Lo.
Yes,
That's what she reminds
I
me
see
of.
that.
Right?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
looks like J-Lo's like related to her somehow.
I don't know if it's J-Lo, but she definitely has like a look
It's like
where
a
you're just like,
J-Lo slash something. I can't place it, but there's definitely, for me,
Yeah.
when she there's a J-Lo vibe going on.
no, yeah, and she's such a sweetheart, and
Yeah.
she's good. I love like the energy that she brings
Yeah.
to the show. But yeah, when I had the conversation with Doc and Jeff and Cruz,
Mm-hmm.
and I said this isn't it for radio, but right now I do really want to focus on my DJ career. I mean, a dream of mine is to like produce music. Even before DJing, I wanted to produce music, make my own remixes and
Yeah.
stuff like
Have you
that.
done any of that?
I started to, yeah.
What's
So-
like one of the tracks that they can look up? Somebody can Google.
it's
right
not
now?
out yet.
It's not out yet.
It's just stuff that
It's
I'm
in the
working
works.
on.
Gotcha.
That it's not that good, but I'm
hey.
working on it.
Hey, there's a lot of stuff that's not that good out there that's like on the charts.
Yeah,
you
you're
know what I
right.
mean? And it's simple. It's just because it's simple and it's easy to follow.
Yeah.
And what are you working on, by the way? What are you producing on? Are you
Ableton.
Ableton. That's what I figured.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I started
and
on,
you're playing
Ableton.
little like MIDI notes. Are you doing that?
MIDI notes and,
you
like-
know how to sequence MIDI?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
But you're
I'm
learning.
I'm learning.
It's
yeah.
not easy, right?
No, I know. It's
a bunch of zeros
very
and ones.
time consuming. Oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
it's fun.
It
The
is.
outcome is always like when you hit play on the entire track, you're like, yeah, I did that.
Or even just that little section you're
Yeah.
looping, you're working on. I can't wait. When you do have some of it, I want to hear it. I hope you
Yes.
can send it to me.
Okay.
So you talk to Doc, you talk to Cruz, you say it's time to move on. And not only that, but let's we'd be remiss to not mention Scam Artist.
Oh, yeah.
Which you have joined. You joined. When did you join Scam Artist?
I joined Scam 2018.
2018, that's right.
yeah. Mhm.
And then obviously
Sujit.
that's shout out to Sujit Kundu. He brings you in, and shout out to Angie V as well. I know
Angie
you
V.
two do a lot of gigs together.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of gigs at least,
Yep.
and a lot of the Twitch,
Oh, yeah,
Twitch live
Twitch. Oh,
stream
I
you
love
guys
Twitch,
always
yeah.
do. That's a thing since the pandemic
Yeah.
started. Sujit is a very he's a brilliant
Yeah, he is.
marketer. He knows how to promote, and he definitely he harnessed the Twitch realm and. I think for me, I never had seen anybody DJing on Twitch. That's a video game platform,
video game platform,
more
yeah.
so. For him to turn it into that, I wasn't even sure how it was going to work. You know what I mean? Because he was going to do Scam 24. He brings in all these DJs to DJ
Yeah.
on his birthday virtually, which I thought was
Virtually.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of the imaging, and it was unprecedented.
It
I had
was.
never seen anybody do that. I mean. No, I hadn't. I had
No.
seen people DJ online
live, yeah.
before, but not in this type of setting where it's 24 hours.
That's so
24 DJs,
Yeah.
right? Was it 24 DJs?
24 DJs,
Right.
24 hours
And-
from all over the world.
And you were one of them.
I was one of them.
I remember that.
I think during my set, Warren G stopped by to
That's
perform
right.
a few songs.
That's right. I remember I was watching you guys online from the crib.
Yeah,
And I just was
so
like,
cool.
man, this is new. And since then, it has not stopped.
Oh, no.
It's every week, every day.
Oh, my gosh.
And every weekend, there's a different theme and a different this, right?
Yeah, totally.
And so what are you doing on there? When do you DJ
So
on
I'm
there?
on there. I try to do 3 days a week, just to, it's really cool. I feel like it's like if I'm having a hard day, I know I can log on to Twitch and talk to people in the chat,
Right.
And find out how their day's going,
Right.
and it's a little community of
It's
a
like your own little radio
family.
station.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, but I don't have set days. I kind of just
Just pop in whenever you want.
my schedule's open, but
That's dope.
it's for sure 3 days. I try to get in my 3 days every week.
Let's hit the people to that. It's twitch.com/scamartist, right?
It's twitch.tv.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Twitch.tv/
There's DJ Lezlee,
Uh-huh.
and then there's twitch.tv/scam artist.
That's
Yeah,
like
you can
the
follow
whole
both.
thing. And
Yeah.
you'll find everybody under
Yeah,
there, under the scam umbrella.
Yes.
Okay, so you are now Scam Artist. You're no longer DJing on the Cruz Show, but
No.
you are still officially part of iHeart.
I am, and I'm
Yeah.
still a part of Real 92.3. I'm still
That's
on
right.
Sunday nights with Young California, Joy
That's right.
Sinatra, Amen. Yeah, my whole thing was like, I'm not ready to say goodbye to radio, but I
course
need
not.
to step away for a little
Yeah.
while and just figure out other parts of my life. And when the time is right, I will be back.
Hey,
in
it's
this
a free
building,
country.
Bugging you.
Yeah, no bugging ever.
To help me with my commercials and everything like that. So, it's not a goodbye. It's I'll see you in a few.
We'll take a break and we'll be be right back after
exactly.
this. And then you hit a bumper and sweep her into commercials. Well, DJ Lezlee, I mean, you've shared so much. I can't thank you enough for the
anytime.
Honestly, for the personal insight. Because yes, the DJing, I knew we were going to cover, and it's always fun to talk radio and talk DJing shop with you. But I really wanted to touch on Lezlee, the person, and the sexuality, and for others to heed your word and your experience, and hopefully it can help them. If somebody who's coming up in the game in the same scenario, even if it's not radio or DJing, but just coming up in the same scenario. Of, how do I come out?
Yeah.
What do I do? Do you have any closing words of wisdom?
You know, the one thing I've learned in the years is you just have to be yourself, be authentic, live your truth. People like that. The more authentic you are, the more people can connect with you, can relate to you. And even if they can't relate to you, like, they can appreciate the fact that you're being real, you're being yourself. When I first, I didn't want to come out. At first, I wasn't sure if I should come out.
You were scared?
I just wasn't sure, like, if what Doc wanted from me. Did he want me to be straight? Did he want me to be
so
myself?
He didn't know you were gay at all?
No, he didn't know.
Even though it's on Instagram, it was open.
Yeah, it was there, but it wasn't like,
it was no
hey,
official,
gay.
like, hey, by the way, this is real.
Yeah. So, but I did a podcast with Chuck Dizzle and DJ Head, and that's where we touched on it.
I see.
And
that was like
Doc,
the first time you really put it out there for Doc and AO.
Well, Doc heard, and he sent me a text one day, and he's like, hey, I just heard you on Chuck and Head's podcast, and I'm a bigger fan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It really makes me, it takes a lot of courage for some. I don't know what that's like to have that deep in your DNA, in your mental, to go, I want to scream it to the world, but fuck, I don't know how they're going to react.
Yeah, but you know what I learned? Who cares? I got to do what's right for me.
Exactly.
The fact that I even like questioned what Doc wants, it's like, no, I should have thought to myself, well, I'm here and I'm going to be myself. And if you like it, cool. And if you don't, cool. And I learned to just walk into every single room with that mentality from now on.
And that's the way to have it, to be honest. And I think you are one of those people that can help propel others to follow suit and hopefully, establish their dreams.
Just be yourself.
Whether they're straight or gay.
Exactly.
Or non-binary.
Whatever you are, just live your truth.
Yeah, live your truth.
Loud and proud.
DJ Lezlee on the Sketch-O-Matic Show podcast. Thank you so much, DJ Lezlee.
Sketch, you're the best.
Love you.
Love you.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
The Sketch-O-Matic Show.
Hey, too much information and shit, man.
Shut your mouth, essay.
Okay, bye.